Hello everyone, this is Nidhi Khatri and I am uploading this video as a contestant for Centa ITPO 2024. According to the question, I have chosen the topic Introduction to Rational Numbers and Difference between Rational Numbers and Fractions. So I'll start my class using visual aids such as number line to illustrate rational numbers. So what I'll do first, I'll draw a number line on the whiteboard and I'll ask children to mark whole numbers, natural numbers and maybe integers of their own choice. Like sometimes I'll ask them to mark 3 on the number line. Sometimes I may ask -5 on the number line. Right? Like this way they will come and mark the whole numbers, integers, obviously natural numbers on the number line. Okay, then after that, I will ask them that between two consecutive whole numbers, is there any whole number? So, of course, like for example, between 2 and 3, I will ask whether between these two, is there any whole number? So, the answer will come no, of course, because between 2 and 3, there are no whole numbers. So then I'll mark a point as between 2 and 3, I will mark a point as 2.5, right? So 2.5 is not a whole number, right? So what I will do, I will highlight the concept of equivalence, that is 2.5 is equivalent to 5 by 2. How? 2.5 can be written as 25 by 10 and then we will simplify it to as 5 by 2, right? Now I will ask my children that 5 by 2 is represented as, or 5 by 2, what is 5 by 2 is called. So the answer which I am expecting and which they will give is a fraction, right? Now I will define a fraction for them. So we can define fractions can be expressed in the form of a upon b, where b, that is the denominator, cannot be equal to 0 and a comma b should be whole numbers, right? That is why 5 by 2, which I have taken equivalent 2.5, which is equivalent to 5 by 2. Now 5 is called the numerator. Within the example I will take that 5 is called the numerator and 2 is called the denominator, and denominator cannot be equal to 0 because denominator cannot be equal to 0 because if it will be equal to 0 then the fraction will be undefined. Okay, so this is done. Now I will give more examples of fractions, right? Next what I will do, I will again go to that number line and I will mark a point -5 by 2, which is towards the left of the number line. The number line is there on the board and which is to the left of the number line, which is equals to -5 by 2. Now children have already understood, the concept of equivalence. So when I will ask them to change this decimal into a equivalent fraction, equivalent number, they are going to do it as -5 by 2, right? Now, -5 by 2, now I will ask them that this -5 by 2, now what you will call this -5 by 2? So I am expecting many, will say it is a fraction because it has a numerator, it has a denominator and the denominator is not equal to 0. Many will say, but others who will use their little bit of critical thinking, they will say, but ma'am, you told that the numerator and the denominator should be whole numbers. But here, -5, if we see the numerator is not a whole number. That is absolutely correct. Now, I will introduce them the concept of rational numbers. So I'll define the rational numbers for them and I will explain that these numbers which are having the integers on the numerator or on the denominator, they are not considered as fractions, but they are considered as rational numbers. Now, what is rational number then? So I'll define the rational number for them. Rational numbers can be expressed in the form of A upon B, where B is not equal to 0. But A and B, which is the numerator and the denominator, they are integers. Now in integers it can be considered as positive numbers also, negative numbers also, and of course 0, the whole number line. Right? So this is how I introduce them the concept of rational numbers. Right? So now they are aware of rational numbers and fractions. I will put up this statement in front of the class. All fractions are rational numbers, but all rational numbers are not necessarily fractions. Right? With this statement, I will highlight on the common misconceptions between the fractions and rational numbers. Thinking that only fractions are rational numbers, or fractions, thinking that only fractions are rational numbers, and fractions are rational numbers are same. This is the misconception actually between the children. Like, what is the misconception? Because fractions and rational numbers, they are same. So that is the misunderstanding. So what I will do, I will address these by providing additional examples. I will provide more examples on the board. I will take up the examples from them on their own. For example, I take minus 6 upon 5. Right, and I will put up this question. I will throw this question in the class, and then I will ask from them whether this is considered as a rational number or it is considered as a fraction.